What's up, guys? This is Ryan from Horror Hive, and I'm here with the lovely and talented Miss Zoe Bell. Miss Bell, how are you today?
I am fantastic, thank you.
Awesome. Now, people may know you from Quentin Tarantino's Death Proof, but a lot of people may not know that you got your start in the stunt business in New Zealand. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct. On the TV show, I'm like, and that's all I have to say about that. I started when I was 17, and my first sort of real job as someone was doubling Xena, warrior princess, for the last 3 seasons.
And what was that like for you?
I loved it. It was like I got a family out of it. While all my friends were going to university, I was going to Xenoversity. It was sort of the foundations of everything I do in the action world now was all learnt in those 3 years. It was invaluable for me.
And now the stunt business, is that something that's easy to get into, or is that something where you kind of have to know people who know people who know people?
I mean, I think like with anything, it's helpful to know somebody because it's just a way in. But I mean, it's the same. I feel like it's got to be the same in just about any industry, but there's not the same. There isn't a structure like that you just work your way up and get promoted. So it is very much like, yeah, knowing people helps. I mean, it's not just like going to a party and being like, hey, my name is blah, blah. Like that kind of knowing people is not that good. But if you've got experience with someone or there's someone who'll vouch for you, that's really powerful. And it is quite hard because it's really competitive. And, it's a very specific skill set. You know what I mean? You've got to be flexible and capable of working with a load of different personalities, not to mention the physical skill sets that we need, but you've got to be intelligent. I mean, there's a stereotype out there of stunt people just being sort of jocks and not that intelligent, but not very intelligent stunt people either get hurt or get other people hurt, and that's not what we want.
Definitely not.
Yeah.
So you worked on Xena for a couple of years, and then you eventually got acquainted with Mr. Tarantino on Kill Bill, doubling for Uma Thurman. So what was that like?
That was life-changing. It was my first feature film. It was my first film project outside of New Zealand. It was my first sort of foray into Hollywood. And I mean, I was working with legends, the Chinese fight team and the whole cast, not to mention Quentin. And I formed lifelong friendships, and it really shifted. That was how I got into the stunt world in America. I don't know how hard it would have been for me if I'd just come over to America looking for that and then had to go about selling myself and meeting the right people and doing all of that kind of thing. I got really fortunate. But yeah, I mean, I also, such as life, I got also injured at the very end of that, and so I was out for a year. And so it's been a hard journey. It's easy to look at all the high points and just be like, oh, you connect the dots, and it just looks like. But like all life, in between some of those high spots are some pretty low spots that you don't really advertise those, and people don't ask you about those, and so it's easy to gloss over and just be like, oh, she's just had this amazing. And it's like, no, I've had the same life as everybody. There's high points and there's low points, and there's shit that comes naturally to you, and there's shit you got to work for.
Absolutely.
I don't say shit or not, but I just did twice.
Hell, you can say whatever you want on here.
Okay, great.
No censors here.
Yeah.
So you worked with Tarantino on Kill Bill, and then Grindhouse came about, and you worked on both Planet Terror and, of course, Death Proof. And so is it true that Tarantino wrote Death Proof with you in mind?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I don't know how to explain that, but yes, it was sort of. I think he's always had a deep-seated respect for the stunt community, and so the idea formulated that he wanted to do something that was sort of in and around the stunt world or a stunt character. And the story goes, according to him, that when we worked on Kill Bill together, that between Double Dare, which is a documentary that I'm in, and us working together on Kill Bill, he kind of liked the idea of not grooming me, but sort of creating a world for me to be a character and act. And on my end, it was the first time a director had ever directed me as an actor in front of the camera, but that's just how he is. Anyone that's in front of the camera or anything that's in front of the camera is telling his story. So that was the other thing that was life-changing about working on Kill Bill, is it was the beginning of, I was not aware of it at the time, but it was the beginning of my transition into acting.
It's pretty amazing. Now, obviously, if you've seen Death Proof, the granddaddy of all car chases is in that film with Miss Bell here on the hood of a car. No CGI, folks. Real deal. What was that like shooting for you?
I loved it. I was working with an incredible team of stunt people. The Dashnors are this family that have been around forever, and they're literally like family to me now. But Jeff was coordinating. His wife Tracy was doubling Tracy. A dear friend of his, Buddy Joe, was doubling Kurt. Kurt's an amazing driver too, and it was just, I was as safe as I could possibly be, which enables someone like me in that position to really push the limits and make it as scary as possible. And I just found it really satisfying to be both sides of the character. I didn't have to hide my face. I didn't have to make something, I didn't have to lose an amazing money shot in order to hide my face. And in fact, I had to learn to unhide my face because my instinct was to avoid camera at all times. And Quentin had to stop a couple of times to be like, yo, I want to see your face. And I was like, but I don't know how. And he was like, learn. I was like, okay, fine. But yeah, I loved that. I loved the whole thing, the whole experience. I remember watching the first time I watched dailies of any of that, and I was like, oh, I'm jealous of me. Like, if I had to watch that scene and I wasn't involved in it, I would have been so impressed and so jealous, you know. And I was like, oh, I'm jealous of myself. That's awesome.
So when you're doing a big stunt like that, obviously, you know, I feel like there's a part of your brain that's, you know, saying, okay, I know what to do, but then there's got to be a part of your brain or something that's saying, this is, I shouldn't be here, I shouldn't be doing this, I shouldn't be, I mean, is that something you have to shut off, obviously? Or
yeah, but I shut it off before we start. I can't have that happening while I'm performing, because it'll make me hesitate. It'll make my performance lack, and it's dangerous. Hesitating in those situations is what'll get you in trouble. So that way of thinking, I either have to practice and train and get myself familiar enough where it goes away naturally, or I have to sort of shut it off. And it's not even a conscious thing. I think there's sort of for me to be able to get to that point where I am performing, that switch has been flicked long before. Yeah, and it's about trusting your team. That's a huge part of it. You make sure you trust your team, and it's part of the, you know, while you're rehearsing and training and all that. I mean, I was working with people that I would trust my life with for the rest of my life, and that makes a massive difference, because then it's like, right, I'm handing it over to you. I'm going to do my piece. You guys do your pieces, and we'll all come out looking like legends.
And any projects coming up? You worked with Tarantino again on Hateful Eight.
Yeah. I have a movie called Camino that just came out, another one called Paradox. The smaller budget ones are all movies that I'm sort of getting involved in the producing side of, so it's sort of like I'll put my name in something so that I can be on the creative side a little bit, and so I'm building on that. I'm about to go to Australia to double Kate Blanchett on the next Thor movie. And I have a couple of projects. I have a TV show and 2 films that I'm personally working on creating right now. So that's where a lot of my energy is going, because I'd like to be in control of getting and creating work for myself and people that I want to work with, you know, if possible. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much, Miss Bell. This is a pleasure talking to you.
Pleasure was all mine.
And we'll see you guys later.